Hi everyone, day 31. It's August 8th at 8:22 in the morning. I've been up since 7 because that's what I seem to do. And I checked my phone and I got an email saying that there was a message for me on Patient Gateway, which is an app, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the thing that the hospital or I can't even think straight to have a conversation, but I wanted to make sure I captured this as this was happening. I got a message on the Gateway, which is like a portal for my medical stuff through Mass General. And I have constant doctor's appointments, so I didn't really think too much about it. And then I can't even go back to rewind as to what I saw because I'm inside of a questionnaire that has like a billion questions on it. It said that I had 2 visits coming up on Wednesday. Which I'm like, Wednesday? I don't have any appointments on Wednesday. My calendar's actually clear on Wednesday, and now it's not. I have 2 PPE. It doesn't stand for personal protection, whatever. When I hear PPE, I think of COVID. But that's not what it is. It's, I could look it up, but you know what? I really don't want to look it up. There are 2 phone call appointments. I don't know why there's 2. And I assume the one of the P means pre something. E might mean evaluation. I don't know. Oh crap, let me just look it up. I have my laptop in front of me. I hate acronyms. What does it mean? It could mean lots of things. Philosophy, politics, and economics. I don't think that's what it means. And I can't even find it, except meaning personal protective equipment. Oh, yay. I'll add surgery to my search. Preoperative evaluation. Brigham and Women's Hospital. So that's what it means. You think it would be POE for preoperative evaluation. Anyway, it means preoperative evaluation. I have 2 phone calls. I think they're both, well, the first one's a half hour. I don't know how long the second one is, and that's on Wednesday. And then I had to fill out this really long questionnaire to go along with it. But I can just give you an overview of it because that will help me stop crying. But the reason why I'm crying is because I scrolled down to look at my other appointments coming up just to make sure that they were on my calendar. Like I have an appointment with the, God, this is not a way to wake up on a Sunday morning. Like back in the day, I would be getting dressed for church. I apologize for you for taking so long to get to the point, but that's why I'm doing this video in the first place. And I'm like stuck on this page and I don't want to look. Anyway, I have 2 appointments this week that are virtual, that are expected because they've happened since I got my diagnosis. And the 3rd appointment said August 20th with my breast surgeon. I don't even have the wording because I'm not on that page anymore. And I don't want to backtrack because I'm in the middle of this questionnaire. Where are those bubbles when you need them? I have all sorts of things to calm me down in my drawer of stuff. Like this little ball-y thing. I actually think this is for my foot. It's a Harmony roller. I think it's actually for my foot. I'm sharing this because it's the first time that I'm seeing the actual appointment for the mastectomy and the, where's my taco? This is why I have that taco. I need the taco right now, and you're gonna need to hold, so hang on. I'm coming. Tacos. I'd say, why you need a taco on a Sunday morning, unexpectedly. I had to take his tag off. I know that his name is Tex. Because if there's one thing I'm good at, is ways to, here he is ways to, calm my breathing down without the use of medication. So, it's the first time that I saw, like in writing, or whatever, that my appointment is on August 20th. And I came and looked at my phone, because I'm using my phone to tape this. That it said, well, I can go through this first since I'm right here. But I didn't expect to wake up and see that this morning, and I guess it's a lesson to not look at your phone when you first wake up in the morning. I should have gotten up and gotten out of bed on the right side, not the left side, and opened my shades and meditated, and I didn't do that. I looked at my phone instead. And then this is what I have to wake up to. And I'm like so excited for today because I get to go kayaking with my really good friend today. And I'm so looking forward to that. I can even play tennis if I want, but I'm probably going to be too tired from kayaking. Which I'm glad I saw this first so I could just chill on the water later. And as much as you prepare, and it's been 30 days, I mean 31 including today, but pretty much it's been a month. It's been a month since I've known that this was coming. And I know I've been like funny and all this other stuff, which I normally am. And sometimes I use it as a coping mechanism. And I've been doing all these things to meditate and find ways of relieving stress and find ways of getting ready for this. But when you see it on your computer screen, and I hate computers. I hate computers for so many reasons. Not that I'd want to be Amish or something, but like I hate technology for so many reasons. It's great and it's awful at the same time. I hate that it's like Sunday and I'm looking at this on a computer screen, and I don't blame like my doctors or anything, because I know it's a matter of just technicalities of why it's here. And I'm very sure I'm gonna get a phone call first thing tomorrow to let me know, because they're so good at the hospital and they're so nurturing and caring. And I'm sure they just put this in to plug it in and schedule stuff. But it just sucks to see it on a screen. And I can't say like it sucks to be on my own, because if anything, I would not want my kids to be here while I'm like this. I guess it's divine intervention that my friend Jenny came yesterday with Text the Taco for me to hug. And I don't suggest getting a temporary partner just for this kind of stuff, because that's A, not healthy, and B, you don't need like a fill-in person just because you're going through crap. I intentionally, I know I'm sidetracked, but I don't really care. I intentionally was not dating, like on purpose, for the past, well, it was like going on almost a year, and then COVID happened, and that just hammered it home. But I said I needed to get my own like stuff together, and before I could give my heart fully to someone, and I did so much personal development work, like the being able to, you know, calm and be chill and be funny and whatever and be healthy. Ironically, I was in the best shape of my life. I mean, honestly, I was in the best headspace and the best physical shape of my life before a year ago. There's some lesson there too, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. I mean, I was exercising again. I was doing Zumba. I was having fun. My FMD was under control. I spent money on some new clothes. Like right now I'm wearing my class of 89 t-shirt that I got. Well, obviously whatever 2021 minus 89 is, that's how old this shirt is. I don't go shopping frequently, but I don't often wear 30-year-old clothes. I'm all over the place. My point is that I was in the best like headspace and loving myself and loving my friends and who I was surrounding myself with. And my body was in great shape. Like I had muscles again and stuff, and my endurance was great. I would get up in the morning and I would walk / jog 3.5 miles every morning. Well, pretty much. And then I'd stop halfway through at some point and then go to this mill, this old mill, and sit because there's water there and there's a dam. Sorry, that was gross. And I would meditate by the dam on my app and like listen to the water. There's like never anyone there in the mornings. And I was like all zen, and then I'd walk the other 1.25 miles, so I can do math like that, back to my place. And like I would shower, get my makeup on, you know, so use the curling iron, which I hardly ever bring out my curling iron. Do my makeup all nice. I was dressing in slacks, and I feel like I'm 80 that I just said the word slacks. I had a pantsuit. I was getting dressed up for a program that I was in about leadership and whatever, and my show was like going through the roof. I won my... Did I even show that to you? I'm just going to do that now because it's something I'm proud of and I need to be happy right now, and I'm not. So I'm taking this off my wall. I'm not taking all stuff off my wall. My bachelor's degree and master's degree is there. But this is something that I'm very proud of. And this happened in 2020. I mean, you can take a look, you know. Well, I guess there it is. There's my first and last name. The 22nd Video Festival Alliance for Community Media, Nor'easters. I got first place for Profile Talk Show for Neighbors to Know with David Scott in 2020. Oh, do I want to lose unsaved changes? No, stay logged in. I don't even know about this. I've never said my last name on this, but yet, like, publicly, I'm a pretty public figure. Does it matter? I don't know. Whatever. There you go. That's me. Actually matches my picture in the back. So how apropos. I won this and was like, well, not just me, David too. And Nick Gilio was filming the episode. Katie Duvall was helping with the episode. And I won this. I beat Floral Park. I'm talking here. I beat Floral Park, New York. Anyone that's watching that knows me from high school. The top 3 was me Floral Park and someone else, I think in Massachusetts. I don't remember. But when I saw Floral Park, I'm like, crap, I'm not gonna win, because you used to just go to the award ceremonies and you just know that you were nominated, and then like other awards things, they just say who won. But because these were virtual because of COVID, which stinks, because like usually I'd get a nice dinner and all this stuff, and I can get dressed up for these awards. And with COVID, I watched from my computer in my living room, but didn't make it any less special. This is from the Alliance for Community Media, the Northeast section, which is New York up to Maine. So that's pretty cool that I won like first place out of like other profile talk shows at public access stations from New York up to Maine. I'm really proud of that. I've worked hard, I've learned a lot, and I have fantastic, inspiring guests. So if you want to see me all dressed up in my nice clothes and not my 30-year-old clothes without tacos, you can go to Neighbors to Know on YouTube. I feel like I've learned so much from that show, and I can't wait to go back to it. I can't wait to go back to it. I actually was making, because of COVID and the studio was closed, I made a Neighbors to Know on the go, and I was working with a volunteer to make a new intro, and I was like in the middle of it, and the intro came out so cool, and my son Caleb helped me film it, because I'm like, that's really what I want to do, like, just go around and not being a roving reporter, being a roving like chatter, you know, like take my camera, take my tripod, walk around wherever and find someone cool doing like cool things and interview them and like find out more about them. I just think that's cool. I love street performers. You just never know what people's stories are, and you end up finding these amazing people that change your life. And that's why I'm here. That after all these years of getting my degrees and having successful jobs and whatever, like, this is why I'm here. I know this is why I'm here. This like just kind of was something that came out of a series of fortunate events. And that's part of why I fight. And I'm not giving up on anything. I have 2 amazing children. Yes, they get on my nerves sometimes. As do like every human with every other human. And this is like the gift when I say, whew, I have to breathe. I don't even know what I started saying. Show. And I volunteer for this, by the way. Those of you that think that this is what I do for a living, I don't. I volunteer to do this. People that do shows for PEG stations, public access stations, don't get paid for them. At least not PEG stations. But yeah, this is why I'm here. I'm here to find these amazing people in this world. David Scott's one of them. And interview them and not be afraid. People talk about my bravery. Like, yeah, I guess I have the bravery to ask people questions that people tiptoe around. And I don't do it inappropriately. Almost always, there's only one exception to that. I talk to the people I'm interviewing before I interview them. And I don't want to know too much, because I want to be able to have authentic reactions and conversations when I actually interview them. And same with the shows, I don't edit them for content. I think my very first one I did, and that was it. I don't edit them for content. I don't cut out what someone says. I'm like, please don't curse. Not like this one, but it's a whole different story. But I don't edit them because like life isn't edited, life just happens. And that's what I want out of my show. And I really haven't found anything I've even needed to edit. And when my guests look back at the show before it goes up, like, they don't want to change a thing. If anything, I've been told, make sure it's less than a half an hour. But you know what? When people share their stories, sometimes it's not less than a half an hour. I'm on 20 minutes already, and I haven't even gotten to the questionnaire that I'm looking at right now. But I know I need to take care of myself first and foremost, and this is part of the process, then I'm not going to edit this part either. If you don't want to watch, then fast forward. You know? But anyway, I've learned a lot from the guests that I've had on. And I feel like why I'm here is to be able to get up and have random conversation with people and find out their stories and share them. And Eric Bolter, random, but Eric, if you're watching, and Michelle, I have not forgotten about our show. I had filmed a great event that they had, and it was really windy that day, and the audio came out awful. I did hire someone to film with me. I don't have a company, it's just me, but I needed someone to film. Because it was in New Hampshire, it wasn't local here, and the audio came out horrible just because it was windy, and we had a windscreen on and stuff, and it wasn't working, and I lost so much footage because it was just so windy. And I worked with another volunteer, and she helped me to narrow it down, and it was like 45 minutes worth of, or could have been more than that, worth of really great footage. Turned out to be like a minute, literally a minute, maybe a minute and a half of like quality, you know, take the message home video. But it's really good. Eric, if you're watching it, Michelle, that minute is really good. They have a project that they started called the Kindness Cures Project. I have a t-shirt in there. I should switch it out because it's not 30 years old. And that episode's coming. Oh, it's got a text. Actually, that's really weird because the text I just got was from my friend that went with me to the plastic surgeon appointment, the second one. And for whatever reason, last night, I listened to the audio of the of the voice memo recording of that appointment. And even hearing the doctor's voice made me very at ease because he's got just a very calming depth and the way he speaks. And it's weird to go to sleep thinking like, okay, I'm in good hands, and then waking up and seeing the appointment like on here. So let me finish this thought. Yeah, this is why I'm here. And this is part of why I fight, because I was saying after all the courage that I've had, and, you know, yeah, I'm good at math, and I don't think I'd ever like totally stop doing stuff with algebra because it's just way too much fun. And I like seeing the change with kids when they finally get something and they smile, or their grades go up, or whatever it is, and they just are happier. And I was a part of that, and it makes me like just, you know, warm fuzzies. And the show is the warm fuzzies for the impact that it's having. I say it's not about awards, yet it's awesome to have this, only because this is like a physical, tactile reminder of why I've been placed here. I'm going to get all biblical for a few minutes, so hang on. You know, I do feel like everyone is in this world for a reason. And oftentimes you go your whole life and you don't know why. And like I went into teaching because I was good with kids, and I was good at math. Not even like stellarly good at math, but I'm good at getting across to kids. And I was, every job I've had, I figured out my hardest job out of all my jobs ever was working at Macy's. If you're older, if you remember those gargantuan cash registers that they used to have, or you had to like plug it, if you were an employee, you had like a code, and Macy's is such a big company, so your codes are a pretty long number. And before they had like scanners to scan prices on tags and stuff, you had to plug in everything by hand. And I remember going into Macy's stores and hearing beep, 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 beep for like 10 minutes while they were checking someone out. And that was the hardest job I've had, because that cash register was like, oh my gosh, I was in training for a week trying to learn the stupid cash registers. And I had used a cash register at my job before that all the time, but it was a much smaller, like boutique-y kind of shop. I was a night manager there. Like, that was just fun. But yeah, this, you know, coming full circle of all my life experiences, like, this is why I'm here. I've gotten my voice back. And I ask questions and find things out about people, and I want to share those people with the world because they're amazing people doing like extraordinary things. And it's not about like movie stars or famous people. It's like people that you pass on the street and you don't even know like what they're up to in this world, and they're up to these amazing things, and I want to share that. And I'm blessed that I have a large network of people that I run into and that I've met through different things, and that I have the bravery, as all of you call it, to do this kind of stuff and just put myself out there. Because what have I got to lose? That's why I'm here. And yeah, I have big stuff planned for me. Me and the new girls. I don't know what their names are going to be yet. I haven't named my girls yet. Oh, that's funny. So I have 2 sons. I tried the second time because, you know, in ideal little land, what you'd think is, you know, you want a son and a daughter and their little golden lab and your happy little house with the white picket fence and the wraparound porch and blah, 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 blah. And then when I had my son, I'm like, okay, you know, I like a daughter now. And I changed the stuff that I ate, and I took my temperature every day and all these other things that are mostly scientifically proven in some old wives' tales. And then I was like, I think 7 months pregnant when they said it was a boy. I'm like, are you sure? Because I've been wearing pink a lot. Funny. And then my son was born, and oh my God, he was such a cute baby. He looked a lot like me. Maybe that's why. But his gorgeous blue eyes, and I always thought that his eyes would change colors because all babies are born like with grayish eyes. And they often change after however long, I don't remember. And his eyes never changed, and they're like so crystal blue. And he's just such an easy kid, such a sweet kid, and so bright. Such a good kid. And I'm like, it's not a matter of whether you have a boy or a girl. I mean, now there's so many more people that are coming out now in their sexuality, and that wasn't even so much happening when I had my children. But it's not even a matter of male or female or a white picket fence, because you'd have to paint it. Unless you get like a fake, you know, pre-painted one. Wraparound porches are nice, but you know what? So is my back deck. I get a really pretty view. It's not about all those things. I am so blessed for the kids that I have and what they have taught me about this world. So blessed. And especially with my younger son, like, you know, he's a senior in high school, and, you know, it's starting a new part of life with going off to college, and, you know, like, it's okay if you're undecided about what you want to do. I was decided about what, actually, that's not true. I wasn't decided about what I wanted to do when I started college. I actually started as a marketing major. And then I'm like, oh, I'll be a flight attendant. And because I was fluent in 3 languages at the time. You just don't know what you're going to be or what you're going to do, and you never know what's going to pop up. And the thing that's the most fulfilling in my life is this. Being a talk show host. Who would have thought? I wouldn't have thought that when I was going to college. I mean, I certainly came out of my shell when I was a senior in high school, but like, not to this point. All right. Bringing it back. So, when I was going on to those, so I saw that I have 2 PPE appointments. They're phone calls. I don't know what they talk about. I guess what to expect from these appointments, or from the surgery, I mean, which is an appointment. So in the gateway, when you do that, like, you do a check-in, you know, do you need a reminder, yes or no? And then you have questionnaires to fill out. So there's this history questionnaire, which is what I have open right now, which is kind of long. And I mean, fortunately for me, I've never had surgery before. But I just wanted to give you an overview of things, and this is like looping back to helping those of you out there that could have any surgery coming up, what kinds of things they'll ask you, because some of the things you have to stop and think about. And with the gateway, it's helpful because it keeps your information in there. For me, the thing that, you know, I've lived in Massachusetts for 11 years now, so most of my information is in New York and not here, and I would just need to think about, when did this happen, whatever. So I'm just going to like quickly go through things with you about history. They ask you about, you know, your nervous system, and most of them are things that they would ask you when you have a physical, but some are different because of surgery. You know, do you have seizures? Have you had stroke? Blah, blah. Your cardiovascular history, which is interesting because like cholesterol and high blood pressure come up. And, I mean, a lot of people get white coat high blood pressure stuff. Like, it's fine when you're home, and when you're at the doctor, it's elevated. But the cholesterol thing is interesting for me personally because I've put on weight. Yesterday, someone commented about how thin I was, and they looked at me like in a kind of concerning way. This is actually how I was before. People probably didn't see me because of COVID, because I wasn't really out and about. But this was like what I looked like before. Number-wise, my weight hasn't changed. And maybe it was just, I don't know, bloating. I mean, when I took the Mirena out, like I said, my stomach went down substantially. But I put that picture up. I mean, it's not on YouTube, but there's a picture on my Facebook page, and on my Instagram. My Instagram is private, so sorry, I'm not making that public ever. On the Facebook page for invasive ductal carcinoma, I put a picture up there of me, or actually, I don't know if it's up there. I think it might be on my Facebook personal page. I should probably share it. Well, you'll see it anyway, because the point was I put on a hoodie that a friend had sent me that had pockets on the inside for the drains, and it was kind of a process for me to actually put that on. So, yeah, you don't have to go hunting there, because I should post it on that page anyway, just so people see. But I want to do a fashion show episode because I have a bunch of stuff from Amazon and other places that I haven't opened, with clothes that are for post-surgery, and I haven't opened them because I don't want to put them on. But part of it, and why I do this, you know, the videos, is to just share authentically from exactly where I am. And, again, to help those of you out there, if you're going through it, know what to expect. So, what to expect when you're expecting to have your breasts removed. Do they have a book about that? Maybe, I can't think of who wrote that, the What to Expect series, but anyway, yeah, I'm just looking at the boxes now. Like, I'm going to have that as another episode. Coming back, sorry, I'm all over the place. So, I mentioned cholesterol because my cholesterol has been fine, but I had a physical this past year, like last week, and my cholesterol was up a bit. Not like scary high, whatever, but that's usually related to my triglycerides, which is related to, for me, for weight gain. And I've put on 10, 12 pounds since last year. And I thought when they took the Mirena out, my stomach went down. I'd be like, oh, great. You know, weight went down. And when I went to go weigh in at the physical, I dropped 2 pounds. And I'm like, 2 pounds? I don't look like I dropped 2 pounds. Like, I'm able to wear other pants that I haven't worn in a while. So to me, it just still seems weird. I mean, I do tend to gain weight in my face before anything else. So I don't really know. Like, do I have 10 pounds of weight in my face? I don't know. But anyway, things to consider is, you know, your cholesterol history. Other questions relating to your lungs. I did start snoring too. I mean, I guess I had been and I just didn't know. But with me gaining weight, I've been snoring. Like I record myself with the Sleep Cycle app to hear myself, and I'm like, holy cow, I do snore. I mean, it's better if I do the right things and elevate my head and sleep on my side with I have a knee pillow between my knees or whatever. I could do all that stuff. When I had COVID, I weirdly snored less because I was sitting upright with the husband pillow, like, you know, propped so I wouldn't cough as much. And I snored less. But I don't believe it's sleep apnea because I know what that sounds like from other people who've had it. It's a horrible sound when they snore and, you know, catch their breath. That's not how I snore, so I'm not concerned about that. They ask you questions about your lungs, about your kidneys, which is interesting because, I mean, they talk about kidney failure and dialysis, which for me are no's. I guess the fact that I had a kidney stone doesn't matter. I don't know. Questions about your liver, about your stomach and intestines, which is interesting because, like, especially knowing that anesthesia, you know, kind of slows down or maybe stops temporarily your GI system. I'm surprised they only asked 2 questions about that. Stuff about your thyroid, diabetes. I personally don't have either issue. And this is interesting. In infectious diseases, it says MRSA infection and HIV or AIDS. It doesn't have COVID in here, which really should be updated because I did have COVID, and that is definitely an infectious disease. Or maybe it's not a disease. It's a virus. Well, so is HIV. It's a virus. They really need to update that. So I guess if you're a doctor watching, I'm sure there's somebody on that. But it does not ask me anywhere here about if I had COVID. I mean, they know I did, but it really should say on here. I have to make a note to myself. I can't because my phone's being taken by you right now. But I always had a pen and Post-its next to my bed. But when they call for my PPE appointment, tell them that I had COVID. And I do have some lingering chest pain sometimes. Oh, my cross just fell. Crap. That's not a good sign. I got a cross here. I'm not letting that thing drop. Not now. Jesus needs to be by my side. That was kind of creepy. It's only because the bottom is at a slant and it doesn't, I try to lean it. So anyway, that's there. All right. Blood stuff. There's a spot for cancer and it was pre-clicked no, and I had to change that. If you have anemia, they ask if you have arthritis or skin problems, depression and anxiety, claustrophobia, impaired vision. Yeah. There's a date first noted, 1976 when I was in kindergarten. Or maybe it was 75. I think it was 76 when I was in kindergarten. But I refused to wear my glasses because I didn't want anyone to know that I wore glasses. As you can see, my prescription's pretty high. But they didn't really start my glasses, though. Like, I can't see how far technology and science has come. This is the first pair of glasses I've had, and I don't even know how long. At least 20 years, where my lenses are not protruding outside of the frames. Well done. Not to me, to my eye doctor or whoever put these together. And then they asked a question about anesthesia. I, you know, any motion sickness, that kind of stuff, which for me, I have not had. I don't get motion sickness. I quite enjoy roller coasters. It's unfortunate that with my FMD, I can't go on them anymore, but I've gone on my fair share. Fun fact, if it's still around and when COVID is over, SeaWorld, the Manta roller coaster is my absolute favorite roller coaster ever because you're literally laying this way. Like you start off sitting and then they go whoop, and you're facing the ground and you're going on the roller coaster like you're a manta ray. So you're facing down the whole time. It is so, so super cool. Favorite roller coaster ever. All right, continue. They ask you about surgical history. I've never had surgery before on anything. Skin biopsy is on here too, considered as surgery. But again, haven't had any of that. And they ask you about family history of problems with anesthesia or malignant hyperthermia, which I did Google. As far as I know, no one's had that. So I just want to give you a heads up. They also ask you about your social history. I mean, I will say, people know this anyway. I am a former smoker. When they asked how many cigarettes you had per day, I'm like, I really had to do the calculations there. I smoked socially when I was in college, or undergrad mostly. I think I smoked the first year of grad school. And then when I met my then future husband, now ex-husband, I stopped smoking. I wasn't hanging around people that smoked anymore. And that was, I think, not that I blame them. I mean, back then, I think way more people smoked. And I enjoyed the smell of cigarettes and the taste. That's actually one weird thing I wanted to mention to you too. When I was talking about the bubbles yesterday, I wasn't really tied into that, but since we're talking health, I talked about the bubbles yesterday and blowing the bubbles. I tried quitting smoking. I mean, I'm sure if I didn't substitute with other things, it would have been easier for me because I didn't smoke a lot. I bought like a pack a week, and sometimes I didn't even go through all of that. And I did that for like 4 or 5 years. And then when I went through my divorce, I smoked, that was very occasional. Like I'd buy a pack and I feel guilty for buying it, so I would hide it. And I think the pack would last me like a month or something. Because I didn't want my kids to know that I smoked, because I wanted to set a great example. But then if you're doing it secretively and then you're rushing inside and like you're in high school, brushing your teeth so no one can tell, changing your clothes because your clothes smell. And after a while, I'm like, why the heck am I doing this? My aunt caught me. That's funny. My father's cousin, when my uncle passed away, I was at his wake, and I hadn't smoked for a long, long, long time, but my other uncle was out there smoking, and I was like, I'm at a wake for an uncle that I loved to pieces and was, one of my favorite people. And I asked to smoke one of his cigarettes. And then my aunt walked by and she looked at me, and she'd never seen me smoke before. And she's like, Jennifer, which is why I don't like when people call me Jennifer. Well, only a few people do, and it's not bad. And then I was like, crap. Yeah, I shouldn't be doing this. And it turns your teeth yellow. Aside from all the obvious other health issues, yeah. And I, to be out there, I did tell, later on, I did tell my kids that I smoked, because I wanted to be straight with them and tell them, like, some of it with the discoloring of my teeth, I don't really know if that's true. Like, I would smoke on this side, and I think that these teeth were more stained than the other ones were, was from cigarette smoke. But I wanted to be straight with them. Like, as a parent, I think you should be honest about stuff so that they learn. Like, yeah, I did smoke. And yeah, my teeth became stained and it sucks. And, there's repercussions to it. Aside from, like, the big ones, like lung cancer or, mouth cancer or whatever, there's other things. I never smoked to the point where it was hard to, like, breathe doing things. But for me, when I was younger, I did it because it was like, the cool thing to do. And then when I was older, I did it as a stress reliever. And then, again, started dating someone who was not a fan of smoke. And I stopped. And then I think, like, once I found out I had FMD, and he said to me, like, you better not put another cigarette by your mouth. Like, that's a really easy way to stop cold turkey. And I'm like, never again, never going back to that. Like, don't inhale anything, not even pot, like none of that. He's like, don't do that. But going back to the bubbles, what helped me the most with stopping, because for me, it wasn't so much a matter of being addicted to like the nicotine. It was a matter of this, and I mean, honestly, I don't even like doing this because it brings back like wanting to have one, though I would never, ever, ever do that now. It's this, the physical sensation. So my dentist of all people recommended to me to get, like when you go to a bar and you get the little straws, the thin straws that they put in drinks and stuff, she recommended that I get a couple of those. And granted, they're thinner than regular cigarettes are. The act of holding it in your fingers, just for a tactile thing to hold, I got over that pretty quickly. Even now, it's just like, this doesn't make me feel good even doing that. But the breathing part, I would always kind of get a little buzz after smoking a cigarette, which was the stress relieving part. And it would help slow my breathing down because you're breathing in order to like use the mechanism that is the cigarette. Not the healthiest way of going about it, clearly. But the tactile thing, there's plenty of things like taco, pillows. There's plenty of tactile things you could do with your hands to, to make up for that feeling. There's all sorts of fidget things, whatever. I mean, even this would be sick, this little thingy, whatever. You can buy all sorts of stuff like to keep your fingers busy until that part of you is like, healed or over it, whatever. I'm covering such a wide variety of things. But with the breathing, when you're breathing through a small straw like that, your breathing has to be controlled because you can only breathe so much in and breathe so much out through such a narrow straw. So I would go and get those straws, like if I was at a restaurant or something, I'd go by the bar and just grab a bunch. They didn't care. And I would keep them in my car. I kept them in my purse. And anytime I had the feeling like I needed to have a cigarette for the anxiety part of whatever was going on in my life at the time, I would grab one of those small straws and hold it there, and I would smoke it like it was a cigarette. I did like in and out, and it was mostly a way to control my breathing. And honestly, that's what helped me stop. I mean, the FMD was the hard stop. But that's what helped me stop needing to have a cigarette to do that when I could get the same thing out of a straw. So I found that extraordinarily helpful. And I've mentioned that to lots of people that talk about being smokers and trying to stop. For me, that was extraordinarily helpful and not something I ever would have thought of. My dentist was the one who thought of it. So yeah, I hope that helps someone. Even with the bubbles, I was saying that, blowing the bubbles helps slow down your breathing. And I just found a lot of tricks and tips over the years that have helped me. So again, I want to help all of you out there too, if you're dealing with anxiety or just stress, or even for, not so much for panic attacks. I have had a couple of those years ago. I actually had one the night that I found out about cancer, that I got the phone call, and you literally like stop breathing. It's like you forget how to breathe. But I wasn't so into it because I hadn't had one in years. And I remembered, like I could think clearly that like, okay, stop, sit up and breathe. And I was fine. And this is why I do meditation and like every day of some sort. I use the Calm app or use the Elevate app, or like there's just so many different things you could use out there that are free to meditate. You don't have to be some like Buddha home kind of person, whatever. It's just to get your breathing to calm down, even in the way that you speak. It's helped me tremendously. And the amount of people in this world that suffer with lots of disorders involving stress and anxiety, and everyone deals with stress. And I've gotten a lot of tips and tricks over the years because of situations that I've been in. And I'm glad to be where I am now, that I know how to deal with it. When I mentioned to people that my surgery, that I'm going to be awake I guess I'll find out for sure when I have these phone calls coming up. But when I tell people I'll be awake for the surgery, they're like, oh my God, what? And that was a big part of why, when I know I was there, why I went to Canyon Ranch. I'm like, I need to learn how to control my breathing without doing big Buddha breaths, like where you stick your stomach out, whatever. I can't move my chest a ton because of what they're doing. Like I can't go like to breathe in because I can't be able to move my chest that much. And what I need to learn is that mind-body connection of how do I breathe in a way that's not expanding my chest so much, but enough to not calm myself, because I'm sure I'll be calm because I'll be sedated, but I'll be awake. You know, that no matter what is happening around me, I can still be breathing comfortably, regardless of what I see or what I hear or what I smell. Like, take all of that out of the situation, just get in the zone. You know, a lot of doctor's appointments or doctor's offices have pictures like this, like pretty beach scenes or whatever on the ceiling so that you can see that, which is great. But after a while, when you look at them, you know, they're so like, it's fabricated and oh, like who else was looking at this picture, whatever. And I got some really great skills to bring back that I've been practicing of how to connect mind body that way with my breathing to be able to be in, you know, whatever situation and still be able to breathe through it. As I'm coughing. Usually when I wake up every morning, I drink a full glass of water. And plus I've been talking for a long time. This is part of the post-COVID thing and why my show's been on hiatus. Because I can't talk for long periods of time without coughing. Okay. So yeah, that's the cigarette part. Alcohol use, I'm not a big drinker at all. I mean, I don't care I don't know why I'm telling you this out loud, but I'm just not, you know, whatever. I had a beer last night, but it makes me feel like I'm going to get fat. Well, I'm German, so I like beer, but I don't drink to get drunk anymore. Like that's, I feel like I did that when I was younger and socially, whatever. I don't enjoy the feeling of being drunk anymore. History, if you've had recreational or illicit drugs, they ask you. That's it. So now I can close out of here. Excuse me. So, submit and continue. All right. So so an hour ago when I started this. So what I saw on my screen is what I'm looking at right now. Oh, that's funny. My average time on my phone dropped 7 hours a day in the past week. I guess because I was away at Canyon Ranch. Wow, that's a small number. I get those notifications every week from on my phone. So, yes, it says I have an upcoming appointment with my breast surgeon on Friday, August 20th. It doesn't even have a time. It says in the AM because I know I'm going to be there all day. It says expected. Why does it say expected? I don't know. Anyway, sorry, that was gross. So, what I'll share with you is that, which I don't know if I've mentioned, but forgot about, I knew about this. The first thing they do is a sentinel node mapping and biopsy. So underneath your armpit, you have lymph nodes, and there's a whole bunch. I mean, you have lymph nodes all over the place, but I'll move text for now. So underneath your armpit, you've got a whole bunch of lymph nodes. Weirdly, like it's hard right here, which I always thought was muscle. It might be muscle, I don't know, but there's no lump. It's just so odd. You have a whole bunch of lymph nodes here. Again, they're all over the place. In imaging, my lymph nodes were clear, which is good, which means it hasn't spread, because if breast cancer spreads, it spreads like that way out through these lymph nodes. The sentinel node is the first lymph node that's closest to your breast. And what they do is they take a biopsy of that area, or maybe that, I'm not sure how the biopsy works, to be honest. But I know that if the first lymph node is clear, that means like it hasn't spread. And I'm, again, not a doctor, so if I'm misunderstanding this, because it's been a while since I've thought about this, don't take my information as medical advice. But that they check a couple of lymph nodes. If the first one is clear, you're most likely good to go, but they check, or maybe you are good to go. Oh my. But they check 2 or 3. It's in my folder, and I could get up to look, but I just don't feel like it because it's getting late. I just want to eat and go kayaking. And then they look at if the lymph nodes are affected from the cancer. If they're not, then, you know, basically it determines what further treatment will be after, I think after they do the mastectomy. So they do the biopsies. The sentinel node means the first lymph node that's closest to your breast. But if, I figured if I'm going 56 minutes, I might as well go 57 and just grab this stupid folder. The folder that I hate taking out. The cancer center. I don't want a cancer center folder. Whatever. I also ordered a CD of my images, which I need to pick up this week. So I'm actually going to leave that card out so I can remember. So here's a picture set that she sent me. So yeah, she checked. There's a whole bunch of nodes. She checks the nodes. If there is cancer in the node, they either remove all of your lymph nodes or they do radiation if 2 nodes come up as being cancerous, something along those lines. I could be reading that totally wrong. So here's praying. Oh, here's praying that my nodes are fine. I got on imaging, nothing showed up, but since they're in there anyway, they're going to do a biopsy first before they do all the fun stuff. Oh, see, I'm good now. Whoo. And then it says mastectomy, 1, 2, and then insertion implant breast bilateral. And both my doctors' names are on there. And I do feel more at ease knowing that their names are there because it makes me feel like I'm taken care of. I don't have to know all the answers to everything. I have a good team here who's going to help me. So that appointment is in the gateway. And yeah, I have 2 phone calls on Wednesday. And then my surgery will be the following Friday. And they told me I would have a preoperative phone call anyway to tell me like what to expect. So yeah, that will be on, today's day 31, so that will be on day 32, 33, 34. And then whatever the math is, whenever I get to August 20th. I can't even think of what that is right now because my head's a little bit fried. Yeah. And then we'll see. I'm going to end this one after, before I hit an hour, but I needed to share this for me and for you. If this helps you in any way, covered a lot. But I'd like to share all the parts of how this all works. People say I'm funny and brave and blah, 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 and how well I'm taking all of this, and I am in general. But this morning was like, wow, it's real. August 20th, 2021, says so right there. So I'm going to eat something for breakfast. I don't know. Grateful I'm going kayaking. Grateful for the friends that I'm going with, because she will definitely turn my frown upside down. She makes me laugh all the time, mostly because of inappropriate, funny jokes. Yeah, we'll see what the rest of the day brings. Thank you for being with me on this journey. And if there's anything I need right now, it's cards, truly. Mail me a card. Tell me you're thinking of me if you're a friend of mine. because I need that right now. I need to be surrounded by people because it's COVID. I can't. So cards are the best way to do that for me. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.